Students, please don't disconnect the call. Just the call got disconnected. Again, I started. Primarily, NoSQL databases instances, which are HBase and MongoDB, the products support these two features, and NoSQL databases products, DynamoDB, Cassandra, CouchDB. These three, the list is not exhaustive. It's not limited only to these five NoSQL databases. There are several other NoSQL databases. These are the popular ones. These three supports availability and partition tolerance, but not consistency. And therefore, the consistency has to be preserved by the developer. The system does not provide that facility. Moving ahead. All right. Quickly, let us glance through the combinations. Consistency availability. It's suitable for systems designed to run over cluster. And here the network partitioning problem almost disappears. It means that if partition occurs, the system fails. The example of for this is RDBMS. Consistency and partition tolerance. Here the model is tolerant to network partitioning and it is not suitable for 24/7 availability. Whenever it's required to have whenever it's not required to have the availability of the data throughout, then you can go for this consistency and partition tolerance. This way, and HBase and MongoDB are the examples. Please mute. Please you mute your mic. And partition tolerance. This strategy works when the data is made available for 24/7 and it can tolerate network partitioning. However, the data may be inaccurate. It may not be consistent with the recent updates. The asset properties, if you remember from RDBMS, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. What is this? This is the basic feature set for RDBMS. Basic feature set for RDBMS in the sense that RDBMS has to provide atomicity, all or nothing property, consistency, every update must be reflected, isolation, no two parallel transaction should interfere with each other. They should run in their own separate space. And durability, once the changes are made permanent, they must be preserved and retained. These are the properties of RDBMS. If you just recall, NoSQL databases are quite different from RDBMS, and therefore asset properties are not suitable for NoSQL databases. Therefore, we need to essentially come up with another theorem that provides certain properties of NoSQL databases, and which is Bayes theorem. Bayes theorem stands for basically available soft state, BA basically available, S soft state, E eventual consistency. So Bayes is an acronym for basically available, soft state, and eventual consistency. Bayes theorem was defined by Eric Brewer, who also formulated a CAP theorem. The one who formulated CAP theorem has also defined Bayes theorem. And what are the criteria for Bayes principle? It says that basically available principle states that data should remain available even in the presence of multiple node failures. How do you achieve this? This is achieved using a highly distributed approach with multiple replications. Uh, Here you have servers. A database has data, for instance, X, and this X must be available at all the times. How do you achieve this? This is achieved by having this X across multiple servers, distributed on multiple machines, and replicating it. So you can find X here, here, and perhaps here. So at 3 places it has been replicated. If this fails, client can access from here. If this also fails, client can access from here. And there are very few instances where it's a rare event. All the 3 copies and 3 machine fails and client does not get access. It's a rare event. Okay. Typically in case of the failure of one node, uh, it can be accessed from any one of the other nodes. That is basically available. Eventual consistency principle states that once the data is updated, for instance, here data value is 10 and user has updated X to 20, and this 10, the another copy is having a value 10, and one more copy also has value 10. What does this implies? This implies that there is an update performed on one copy of the data, and if it is a strict consistent database, immediately this X should be updated to 20 and this X should also be updated to 20 if it is a strict consistent database. What we have studied is there are some light consistent databases which are NoSQL databases. How does they update the other copies? It is eventual consistency. Eventual consistency implies that immediately the data may not be updated. After few minutes or few hours, you can get the updated copies at all the places where it is stored. Okay, that is eventual consistency. Eventually after an hour or after a day. Sometimes what happens when you delete your Facebook account or your Gmail, it says that changes will be reflected in 24 hours, or there is a backup available for 10 days. During 10 days you can get it back, or after 10 days it will become permanently deleted. So that kind of scenarios state that the changes are not made immediately, spontaneously, instantly. Rather, it takes time. That is eventual consistent. And then soft state. Soft state term phrase means that uh, it is um, it is all right to have a database in inconsistent state for some time. That is soft state. If you look at this example here, for 1 hour this x is 10. After an hour this x changes to 20. During that period the system is said to be in soft state, as you have uh, the inconsistent versions of the data present in the system. All right. And Bayes principle does not address consistency issue, and it is left uh, up to the developer to handle consistency issue. The system does not provide that, and this philosophy helps to achieve scalability goal. Scalability goal is to expand the system as the requirements increases. All right. Moving to the next topic, which is features of NoSQL database. Uh, NoSQL is a new philosophy of database, and obviously you will have new features which may not be applicable to our traditional model of database, which is RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. And these features have been uh, stated in this phrase as uh, having a schema-free, non-relational, horizontally scalable distributed database. These phrases describe NoSQL database. Flexible schemas. Whenever you create a table, you say create table, table name, create table, table name, attribute name, type, and so on up to attribute n, and type. Also, uh, constraints and keys can also be associated. This is schema. Every RDBMS table has a schema defined, and if you say that name as attribute with the length as 20, you cannot define a name having more than 20 characters because it has been fixed. And all the schemas are static and predefined. Whereas in NoSQL database, There are flexible schemas. Flexible schemas implies that uh, you don't have to create a fixed column and fixed type for the column and size for the column. It is non-relational. Essentially means this structure of having attributes and records, like this is one record, this is another record. This is a relational structure. In NoSQL databases, you don't find relational structure. Data is not organized in the form of tables. How they are organized, we'll study as we go along. Scalability. Scalability is the prime feature of NoSQL database. Today, if you have 1000 records or data items, tomorrow they may scale up to 50,000. And then perhaps this may go up to 100,000. This acceleration of the database values and instances has to be supported by NoSQL. This is a very important property. And there are two ways in which you can scale, if you recall: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. In vertical scaling, you replace the system with a higher version system. If this is having 1 GB, this may have 10 GB. That's vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling, you have 1 GB here, you may add one more GB, you may add one more GB, and you can go on adding. This is more flexible and inexpensive way of scaling. And this one is expensive and specialized method of scaling. And NoSQL must support this horizontal scaling. On the contrary, RDBMS support vertical scaling. Vertical scaling in the sense that one machine is replaced with another machine, a higher end machine. And if you have records which must be increased, then you go in this manner. Your approach is this. And then auto distribution is also a feature of NoSQL. Apparently, this means distributing. Distributing means allocating the partitions or segments or fragments of database on multiple machines. And it is auto. It is auto implies that it is automatically done. You don't have to separate the data into multiple segments and then place one segment at one machine. Not like that. It's automatically done. Where in NoSQL database, distribution happens automatically in NoSQL databases. Auto replication. Replication also happens automatically. Suppose you have an important document. What do you have to do to have it as a replicated copy? You yourself have to create a copy of it and place it at some location. That is a manually done replication. Automatically done replication is the system itself create multiple copies of the same data. So this is also done automatically in NoSQL. Integrated caching. Caching is really required as the data is spread across geographically and far apart from one another, and user may be trying to access data located somewhere the other end of the world, and due to some network problems, congestion problem, latency problem, user might have to wait for the data to come from long distance. And if it is replicated to a nearby place, if you have another server, suppose we are here in Hyderabad and there is a uh, server in US. If that is the only server, everyone across the planet is trying to access it. It causes bottleneck. Therefore, what they have done is they have placed the uh, cache um, everywhere, having similar copy, and with the client, that is caching. Due to caching, uh, in the browser itself you can have frequently accessed web pages. If you have observed, sometimes even if there is no internet, you get Google page. How can you get Google page when there is no internet connection? Because it has been cached. Okay, so one copy can be placed in a nearby area, nearby server, or within the Chrome itself. It depends how and how much data is cached and where it is cached. And this feature reduces latency and increases throughput by having a frequently used data in the system memory. Okay, so this is within this user system memory. Okay, if you consider this in this manner, then this is a user's system, and in memory you are placing a copy. NoSQL database types is the next topic. Features are done. What are when you don't arrange the data in tabular format, in this format, then in which way you arrange this? How you have the data organized? That is the question addressed by the types of NoSQL databases. How many types are there? There are four. Four different types of NoSQL databases that addresses the needs of four classes of problems. First one is key value. Key value database is like you store X is the key, value is 10. This is key value pair. Wherever you store in this format only X is equal to 10. That is key value pair, which is essentially useful for hashing, and you can have a hash like hash table, which creates a pair of key and its value. Uh, the primary benefit of this is the easy scalability. Um, what happens is, in another class of problems where you don't have to access the value based on the key, in that case this is not suitable. it's not always you have key value pairs, right? In such scenarios, this key value pair is not suitable, and therefore you have to go to next kind. The examples for key value pairs are Amazon's DynamoDB, Azure's Table Cloud, CouchDB. These are the popular examples of key value pair NoSQL databases. The second type is document oriented database. In a document oriented database, you have an entire document like your CV. You have your CV with the name as your own name. Okay, John. John is the name of this document, and this document contains John's CV. Uh, and these documents are schema free and can be in any format. You can have CV, you can also have uh, Excel sheet where John's attendance uh, is stored, where you can also have um, another format, okay, presentation format in which John's slides are placed, PDF format. So this is document is schema free, and you have like a key value, it is quite similar, uh, but here you have a large document, not just a small value. Generally, the document oriented databases use XML, JSON, or binary JSON formats. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It is also one format for structuring of the document. Binary JSON is also another format. The example are MongoDB, Apache CouchDB, Couchbase. These are the popular examples of document-oriented databases. And an important point here is that each document is treated independently and there are no constraint enforced across documents. This document and this document, primary key, foreign key, it's not like that. Okay, this is not there. This is an independent, this is another independent. For instance, this is Alice CV. Column oriented database where the emphasis is given on the column ordering. This is one column. For instance, the name. This is one column. If you consider roll number, that is another column. The traditional RDBMS stores the data in row format, this format. In row format, you have roll number, name, marks, grade. This is the instance or record having values for all the attributes for one particular entity. Column oriented databases considers only an attribute, all the values of an attribute, not the values of all attributes for one particular entity. It's not like that. Here, if you consider name X, Y, Z, W, A, this refers to the values of the attribute name. All right. So each column consists of three elements: the name of the column, the value. Here the name is name only. Values are X, Y, Z, W, A, and there is a timestamp. Timestamp is used to identify the actual required content when you have updated it. What is the recent value, and it is mainly used to find the up-to-date content. What value has been updated recently. The difference between column store, okay, this is also known as column family database or wide column data or column store. Store or column store? No, it's wide column data store. This is one, and column store is another. These are the names given to column family database. So the difference between column store and key value store is that column stores are optimized to handle data along the columns. If you want to find out the marks of all the students, right? In that case, you are concerned with a column, and if you find all the columns in one machine, we know that the data is distributed in NoSQL. If you distribute the data in the column format or as column store, you find all the marks here, all the names might occur here. When you retrieve all the marks, you don't have to get from multiple sources. You get only from one machine. This is the optimized use of column store. On the other hand, RDBMS stores data row-wise. So first 10 rows may be here, next 10 rows may be here. That way, if you have to retrieve all the marks, then you have to get from multiple machines. Graph database is the fourth kind of NoSQL database type. It's also known as graph store, and it stores the data in the form of nodes and edges, and entities are represented as nodes and relationship between entities as edges. One entity, two entity, three entity, and how they are related. This might be related to these two. And the cost is associated, which increases as the number of nodes increases in this kind of. Hadoop's HBase is a best example of column store database. Okay, I forgot to tell you about the example. So it's Hadoop's HBase. And this kind of data store is essentially more useful when you have to look at the social connections, essentially in Facebook or LinkedIn, where if you want to find out all the connections of a particular entity. I'm an entity, I have LinkedIn account, I have some connections. If I have to look at all the connections, I can represent that database in this graph store format and can quickly get to know. Examples of popular databases include Neo4j, Infogrid, Infinite Graph. These are the examples of graph-based databases. Selecting the suitable NoSQL database solution. How is it done? How to select the suitable NoSQL database. Each NoSQL database has its own strengths and weaknesses, and they have been designed to serve different purposes, and they can't be directly compared with one another. You can't say that graph store is best, or you can't say that key value and document key value has better performance or features than document. Directly you cannot compare because each one is independent, has its own properties, features, advantages and limitations. You need to choose the one which is more suitable for your problem, and therefore identify a proper solution. All right, and sometimes a single type um, may not provide you the optimized performance. In that case, multiple types can be leveraged, and you can have a multi-model NoSQL database wherein you can have key value as well as document oriented both together, and such kind of database is known as multimodal NoSQL database. Commercial NoSQL databases. Bigtable, if you recall, was developed at Google for their in-house large distributed storage of data, and they released their paper on Bigtable in 2006. Amazon developed their own large scale database called Dynamo, and they released it on Dynamo in 2007. From then on, several other organizations and developers have come with different databases, NoSQL databases, and each one will have its own properties and features, and the field is still evolving. You are getting uh, the uh, NoSQL databases, newer models, newer versions with new features, and big data inspired releases are HBase, Dynamo inspired React, and Cassandra. There will be several products available in the market. Uh, Popular ones are few, and widely used ones are also quite few. For instance, HBase, Cassandra are very popular. React, I never heard of it before. So that way. And the first one is Apache's HBase. HBase is an open source NoSQL database, and it was written in Java. It was developed by Apache Software Foundation as part of their Hadoop project. And it is already mentioned that HBase is inspired by Bigtable. HBase uses HDFS as its underlying file system. HBase is a column-oriented database. Amazon's DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a key-value NoSQL database. It was developed by Amazon, and it has derived its name from Dynamo, which was Amazon's internal storage system that was launched, and it is launched in 2012. Okay, it is available as part of AWS Amazon Web Service portfolio. And the application of DynamoDB is that it can support large volume of concurrent updates and suitable for shopping cart like operations. You might have used shopping carts on Flipkart, Amazon. Such applications might use DynamoDB. Apache's Cassandra. Cassandra is an open source NoSQL developed in Java. It was initially developed at Facebook, and later they released it as open source in 2008. Their goal was to develop it further. And Cassandra is a hybrid of column oriented and key value data store, and therefore it's more suitable for deployment across many commodity servers and cloud infrastructure, as it supports both column oriented and key value data stores. Google Data Store, uh, its name is Cloud Data Store. It is developed by Google, and it is quite easy to use as it supports SQL-like queries, and it is called as GQL because it supports SQL-like queries. It is in key value database, and on top of being NoSQL, it also supports ACID transactions using optimistic concurrency control. This Cloud Data Store by Google. MongoDB is quite popular, document oriented open source NoSQL database. It was developed by MongoDB Incorporation and released in 2009, and it was written in C++, JavaScript and C programming languages, and it uses grid file system as a built-in distributed file system. And MongoDB runs on many cloud-based environments like Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Along with the compute engine, it provides MongoDB as NoSQL database solution. Amazon's SimpleDB. SimpleDB is a NoSQL data store by Amazon, and it has a key value store, and it's actually not a full database implementation. That's why it is known as SimpleDB. It was released in 2007, and it works with both Amazon EC2 and Amazon S3. In both cloud environment, you can have that. Apache's CouchDB is also an open source document oriented NoSQL database. It was developed in 2005, and later 2008 it was adopted as Apache Incubator project, and in 2010 its first stable version was released and it became popular. Neo4j is also an open source graph database. It was developed in Java by Neo Technologies. Initially released in 2007 with a stable release in 2010. Okay, besides these mentioned databases, several other products are also available, and Oracle has also launched their own NoSQL databases. Okay, students, this is about this database technology, and quickly complete this MCQ. Which of the following is not rated as one of the three V's in big data? Volume, velocity, volatility, variety. So, volume, velocity, variety. These are the three basic V's. Several other V's have been added to the list of V's of big data. However, these three are the primary ones. NoSQL databases are designed to process unstructured data. Which of the following organizations has the biggest contribution in NoSQL database development? Google. Instead of strictly following ACID properties, many NoSQL databases follow Bayes theorem. When a user deploys some database application over cloud server and uses the database, the user actually consumes which type of cloud service? Database as a service. Okay. As per Bayes theorem, consistency of data may not reflect instantly after transaction. True. It is eventual consistency, not instant consistency. True. The performance issue for relational database, while volume of data becomes huge, basically arises because its architecture does not support this horizontal scalability. DBMS, traditional DBMS, RDBMS does not support horizontal scalability. NoSQL databases can scale horizontally. Which among the following goes along the relational DBAS model? Amazon RDS. Amazon RDS is relational database store. NoSQL database Cassandra was initially developed by Facebook. Later it was taken over by Apache. Initially it was developed at Facebook in-house, later released as open source, and it was the development was taken over by Apache Software Foundation. All right, students, do you have any doubts? This chapter we will with this we completed unit 2. This is unit 3. We will be commencing new unit tomorrow. You have any doubts in today's topic or in any topic or in the assignment questions? Assignment questions have been released. I hope you all have received that question bank along with the students list, wherein the questions are marked against the student name and roll number, and it's like 99% there is no replication, means one question is for one student only, it's not been replicated. You know, replication advantages are several, but there is a disadvantage also. So for our model of assignments, I found replication to be not so efficient. So I thought that we should have unique questions to every student. Even after writing, I think 200 plus questions, uh, it was not possible to assign uniquely. So last 5-6 students got repeated questions, but the replication factor is quite low. It's actually too low. So students, did you go through the question list? And those who are interested to write for the entire question bank, it would be really good for you. It would mean that you would specialize in cloud computing, because I have covered every nook and corner of the syllabus to come up with the 220 plus questions, that if you write, you get to know everything related to that subject given in that text. Further, you can explore. Okay then students, if there is nothing to discuss, we can close the session. See you tomorrow.